In the lead up to Mother's Day, a new scientific experiment by the Royal Mail proves mums respond more positively to cards and letters than to social media messages. Joining me today is Sharon Little, CEO of the UK Greeting Card Association, and Lynda Shaw from MindLab. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. Hello there.
So, Lynda, why is there a much stronger emotional response to cards than other forms of correspondence?
Why is that? That's an interesting question. Well, our experiments showed that there definitely is a far more positive emotional response to receiving a card as opposed to an electronic greeting of any kind. Why that is so? Probably because women need something where they feel valued and valid. When their children have left home, or indeed as their children are growing, women often lament that they feel unappreciated, or they're not appreciated, or they are actually not needed as much. And the empty nest syndrome is a very serious thing. It hurts a lot. So when a woman receives a card from her children, it means an enormous amount.
And can you tell us a little bit about how the tests were done and what conditions there were and things like that?
Yeah, MindLab is an independent scientific laboratory using EEG equipment. And EEG measures this, the electrical activity that comes, or the greatest electricity that comes from whatever stimuli is in front of them. So in actual fact, the brain is mostly unconscious processing, and there's lots and lots and lots of things that we take on board unconsciously, and it's all jostling and vying for our attention. So when we get a synchronization of information coming through the EEG skull cap will actually pick up that electrical activity and measure what's going on. And in this experiment, the greatest feeling that came through was a positive emotion from looking at a greeting, a pleasant greeting, that is, on a card.
Now, certainly with my mum, she thinks she's very trendy and quite likes social media and is quite quick on the text messages. But why should Mother's Day be different in regards to sending it across via social media or on an email?
I think cards are important for all occasions, but I think cards especially resonate with women, and Mother's Day, so therefore Mother's Day is the perfect opportunity to use a card as a means of expressing your love and appreciation for your mum. And I mean, in the UK, we actually, this is the greeting card capital of the world. We send more cards per person than any other nation, and our rule of thumb, although this isn't scientifically proven or measured, is that 85% of all cards are bought by women. So very much a female thing. There's just something special and tangible about a card. There's the whole process that you go through when you receive a card. You know that person has gone to a shop or they've made it themselves, both of which are brilliant. They've chosen something or made something specifically for you, and then they've written in it, and it is handwriting as well. That's very special. We don't get to see that very often these days. Ink and paper is quite a magical combination. And then it arrives through the letterbox, or it's given. You have to unwrap it. Now, we all love unwrapping something. What is it? So you unwrap it, you get out your card, you see this image, you see something that someone has chosen for you, and then you have to open the card itself and see the handwriting. And then afterwards, so you have all of these positive feelings there, but then it's also a reminder after the event, because we display our cards, we put them on the mantelpiece, and that's something that you can't do with a text or an e-greeting or with a Facebook message. We keep it on our mantelpiece or on a shelf somewhere on display to remind us of that special occasion and the time that you spent with that person, and it perpetuates all of these positive emotions. And cards are kept as souvenirs, mementos of these events. It's once you've got that connection with that person through that card, it's very difficult to throw it away. So people do keep the cards that are sent, the special ones for the special occasions, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and special birthdays, and from the special people in their lives.
And when you're talking about cards, there's such a vast selection. Have you got any top tips on what we should be looking out for, and maybe any tips on what to say inside?
Well, it's got to be something that reflects the relationship that you have with the person that you're sending it to. So, and that unfortunately, all human beings are very different from each other. We all infinite possibilities there. So I would say, look for something that will resonate with the recipient. And then for writing a message, it's the same thing, isn't it? What do you think that person wants to hear from you? What would make them feel the most pleasure, the most cared for, and appreciated, and that's what I would write. And don't hold back. This card is going to stay with that person. Don't hold back. Say how you really feel, and use that card to bypass the British stiff upper lip of not communicating our feelings, and really put how you feel into words.
And looking at your research, it also shows that the traditional card trumps things like being pampered at a spa or taken to the Ritz for an afternoon tea. So it really, really is important for mums, isn't it?
Absolutely. Sorry, Sharon. I was going to say that the study showed that the spa was way down on the list. People, I think what it is with women, they know that when somebody has bought a card that is thoughtful and thought out, that somebody has spent time doing it. And as Sharon has just said, time is actually the most precious gift we have to give. If we are going to do something with somebody, that's more precious than actually sending them off somewhere. So when we actually spend the time looking at choosing the card and doing these things, and when we receive that, we know all that has gone into it, and people care enough for us to give us the chunk of their lives.
And talking of Mother's Day, it's really right around the corner. So when should we get our cards in the post to make sure that they get them in time?
So first class post on Friday will be absolutely fine to arrive there on Saturday for Mother's Day, which is on Sunday. If you want to send by second class, then I would suggest Thursday, which gives it a good 2-3 days to get there.
Great. And is there anywhere else people can go for a bit more information?
So royalmail.com or royalmailgroup.com are two great websites. And then also, if anybody's interested in being part of the greeting card industry, maybe they're an artist or a designer, or they want to write for greeting cards, or they want to start up as a greeting card publisher, then take a look on the Greeting Card Association website, which is greetingcardassociation.org.uk.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today on First Active Media.
Thanks a lot, Teague.